No funny intro. What is up, Fin fans? I literally just got done watching it. The stream just ended about 2 minutes ago. And I'm trying my best to keep my composure. But the fact that we just lost to the Jacksonville Jaguars, I'm normally happy-go-lucky, try to see the bright side of things, I talk about the bad, but then I talk about that, there's a possibility of this and that, yada, yada. This loss to Jacksonville, this is the breaking point. And you saw what I said in the preview video. That you can't beat Jacksonville, you're not beating the Jets, you're not beating the Texans, you're not beating any of these teams that aren't as good. 0-5, 20-game losing streak. And you can't beat this team. Let's talk about stats. And then I'll go over my notes. And we'll talk about this. So, Tua Tagovailoa, 33 for 47, 329 yards, 2 touchdowns, and that dumbass interception. Malcolm Brown, 5 carries for 24 yards, 4.8 yards a carry. Savon Ahmed, 7 carries for 22. Tua Tagovailoa, 3 carries for 22. Myles Gaskin, 5 for 9. Remember those rushing yards because I'll come back to that. Gesicki, 8 catches, 115 yards. Jalen Waddle, 10 catches, 70 yards, 2 touchdowns. Mac Hollins, 4 catches for 61 yards. Durham Smythe, 5 catches for 59 yards. You look at the Jacksonville Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence, 25 for 41, 319 yards and a touchdown. James Robinson, 17 carries for 73 yards. Trevor Lawrence had 2 carries for 11. Marvin Jones, 7 catches for 100 yards and a touchdown. Jamal Agnew, 5 catches for 78 yards. And Chenault Jr., 6 catches for 54 yards. I'm trying to, in my brain right now, see how I want to, because I don't want to jump right into what I want to say. That is going to happen in about 5 minutes. I want to look back at the game. First and foremost, I want to say this. Tua Tagovailoa's interceptions was dumb. He had his guy open across the middle, but then he wanted to get it to Waddle. If he put more air under that ball, he probably would have got it to Waddle. It was a bad throw that ended in an interception. Dumb pass, not giving him any, no, it was dumb pass. I will say this. The game wasn't lost on Tua Tagovailoa. 329 yards and 2 touchdowns. The game wasn't lost on Tua Tagovailoa. I will say that. I think he came out. He played really well. Again, the interception, dumb as hell. He had a few passes that were off. We'll talk about that in the film breakdown. But this game was not lost on Tua Tagovailoa. Just looking at my notes right now. Defense. I just don't know what happened to this defense. Andrew Van Ginkel can't tackle if his life depended on it. Put him in coverage. Absolutely horrific. We need linebackers. Desperately need linebackers. The fact that Xavier Howard and Byron Jones were out. Noah Igbenogany. I want to give him time to develop. Just like I want to give Tua time to develop. Just like I want to give Robert Hunt, Solomon Kinley. Rookies deserve time to develop. But what I saw from Noah today was there was no development. At least with Tua, he got better, right? Tua's making better decisions. Tua's making better passes. Same thing with Solomon Kinley, Robert Hunt. Jackson now at guard is doing better. All of these guys that I need to see development from, I'm seeing them develop. Noah Igbenogany is the same guy that was getting burnt against the my brain's shutting off. Against the Bills, against the Seahawks, he's the same corner. It was a bad pick at 30, and it's still now a bad pick. Got to own up to it and just move on. Put Trill Williams out there. Trade him. Get rid of him. He's taking up a roster spot for a corner like Trill Williams that should be on the field playing. He was just getting completely. The wide receiver that was picking on him too was Marvin Jones, just completely picking on him all game. Just toss it up, and he's not gonna be in the right position to smack that ball down. The penalties. Let's talk about the penalties. All of a sudden, this team, you get rid of the TNT wall. All of a sudden, this team is incredibly undisciplined. False starts, putting in, second and long, first and long positions. Like, why? What happened? But again, I don't want to get too far into that because that's something I want to talk about in a little bit. Gesicki coming out, Tua doing what Brissett couldn't do, finding Gesicki, hitting Gesicki, getting Gesicki over 100 yards, hitting the seam passes, it was nice to see the offense moving. That also being said, you gave the game to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Again, I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm so riled up that I'm getting ahead of myself. The officiating was bad. Did that cause the game to be lost? No, but it did definitely hurt, especially with the unnecessary roughness to Javon Holland when he was just going for the ball. Just so happened that their helmets clanged together. It's going to happen, but that's an unnecessary roughness. No holding call on Gesicki. Like, there was a lot of pass interference on Mac Hollins when his elbows never extended. Like, it was real bad officiating in this game. You can even, if you're a Jaguars fan, if you saw anything, let me know in the comments below. What else? Drops helped the defense. The Jaguars dropped a ton of passes. A little inaccurate from Trevor Lawrence. Definitely helped out the defense. Bad tackling. Absolute bad tackling. You just saw guys who, and I'll talk about it in the film breakdown, where on their rushing touchdown before they got there, when they got the ball down to the 1 yard line, it seemed like guys were just sliding off of him. Just horrible tackling. First and 20. When we're on first and 20, the horrible play calling from first and 20. You end up running it at some points. First and 20, when we're on our own 20-yard line and it's first and goal, and you end up running it on second and I think we ended up getting 2 yards and you run it. And then we end up kicking the field. It's just dumb play call. Again, we start the ball on our own 9-yard line because we got a turnover off of a fumble. No, that was they went for it and they didn't get it. But off our own 9-yard line, Tua marches us all the way down the field to score a touchdown. That's what I'm saying. This game wasn't on him. The drop. I will say this, right? The drop by Gaskin, and this is where I'm going to get on the refs a little bit. The drop by Gaskin, right? They call it a catch. It was very close. It was very, 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 very close. They call it a catch on the field. Normally, it's a catch on the field. It's up to the coaches if they want to challenge it for a non-catch, whatever. They call it a catch, and then the refs get together and overturn it and say it wasn't a catch. When have you ever seen that happen in the NFL? When have you ever seen a play happen and then they get together and talk about it some more? Because you get together and talk about it because you got to tell the officiating, the head coach, head ref, what the penalty is, or if it was a catch or not. They got back together and said, no, actually, it's not a catch. And then if we try to fumble it, if we try to challenge it, again, my words, my brain is all over the place. It has to be conclusive evidence. So they screwed us by flipping it. If they didn't flip it, we're not going to challenge it. Urban Meyer's going to throw the challenge flag, and it's not conclusive evidence to say which way or not. Why do that? I literally wrote no and not it. And it was that third down conversion where he just tosses it up to Marvin Jones. And then 4th and 1. And this is where I'll get into the good and the bad. And a lot of it's going to be bad. 4th and 1, you run the ball. You have decided throughout most of the game, you had Tua Tagovailoa throwing the ball 47 times. You rushed 17 times. And on 4th and 1, with the game on the line, if you do not get this 4th and 1, that the Jaguars are going to get the ball in field goal range, you decide to run it. When your offensive line also has been very bad at run blocking, you decide to run it, essentially giving them the ball on the Dolphins side of the field. And that's where I'll get into what I really feel about this team right now. Going into the season, looking at what the Dolphins did last year, they had a great defense. Defense was causing turnovers. The defense was stopping people. They had the bend not break. The defense was playing well. We got X back off of 10 interceptions. Byron Jones. We added some pieces in McCourty. We bring in Jalen Phillips. Ginkel's back. Van Ginkel's back. Look at this defense. The defense sucks. And I thought to myself, the defense did well against the Bills. They stopped them for a quarter and a half. And then the Raiders and Colts game, the defense did well, and the offense was holding them back. And at some point, the defense is going to get tired. These past two games, and against the Jacksonville Jaguars, who have lost 20 consecutive games, hasn't won a game since September of 2020. This defense sucks. And I hope you hear the disdain in my voice when I say that, because I'll say it one more time. This defense sucks. No pass rush. I think we got 3 sacks. Off of an offensive line that is missing their starting center, banged up. Same thing with the Colts game. They were missing so many pieces on their offense. Could not get pressure. Is it because Ogba? Is it because Phillips? I don't know what it is, but it sucks. Our linebackers, they suck. All of them suck. Andrew Van Ginkel, you suck. And I watched it today. You suck. Jerome Baker, you suck. Landon Roberts, you suck. Stop putting Brennan as a pass rusher. Stop taking Phillips out and putting Brennan in to be a pass rusher. You know why, boys and girls? Because he sucks. Stop playing zone. You know why? Because it sucks and you can't do anything about it. Stop making these mistakes. Tua played well this game. The interception was dumb. He shouldn't have done it. And I'm not making any excuses for that interception. Bad throw. Even him on 3rd and 2, instead of running the ball, he tries to fit it to Waddle, right? Rolling out to his left, he tries to fit it to Waddle. Incomplete pass. But then on 4th down, he makes the nice pass to Matt Collins, kind of nullifies that dumb decision he made. But it was still a dumb decision. But the man, 33 for 47, 329 yards. And there's a lot of drops in there. 2 touchdowns and the dumb 1 interception. But I saw him, Matt Collins at some point was chirping. He grabs the back of Matt Collins' pads and he pulls them into the huddle. I see him yelling at the receivers, come on, get over there, come on. You see he has the command of this offense. A big difference between him and Brissett. So I'm not putting this loss on Tua. You might want to, if you're not a Tua fan and you want him gone and all that stuff, I'm not putting this loss on him. He threw for 329 yards, put 2 touchdowns up. This loss was on the defense and the play calling on offense because it sucked. I told you guys that if the Dolphins lose this game, something needs to change. And that's 100% what needs to happen. Flores gets fired? I don't know. Greer gets fired? I don't know. One of the 2 dumb OCs we have get fired? I don't know. The defensive coordinator gets fired? Somebody needs to get fired. We should not have lost the way we did. The Jaguars literally were playing to lose the game. Drop passes, constant false starts to put them in long down yardage. Look at the field goal that won them the game. How do you let that happen on defense? How? They're in field goal range. False start pushes them back. Then Trevor Lawrence tries to run it. We get a tackle for a loss. They're even further back. Then we get a sack. They're even further back. Then 5 seconds left. It's 4th and 5. 5 seconds left. You let them get the extra yards to the 35-yard line to kick the game-winning field goal. And that's where all of this stuff, when it comes to the penalties, when it comes to the horrible tackling, when it comes to the undisciplined in coverage, on the head coach. What happened? What happened to the least penalized team in 2020 to now being the most penalized team in 2021? What was the transition? What was the transition? You got rid of a lot of players this offseason. Kyle Van Noy, Eric Flowers, Bobby McCain. Like your thought process is these young guys can step up. These young guys can do it. Show me a team in the history of the NFL that had the youngest team in the history, the youngest team in the NFL, and was successful. Last year we were successful because we had vets in certain positions. Jesse Davis, Ted Karras, Eric Flowers. The offensive line wasn't great, but it wasn't like it is now. Same thing with the defensive side. Kyle Van Noy, Bobby McCain, Byron Jones, Xavier Howard, Manuel Ogba, Shaq Lawson. We had vets in certain positions. I don't know what's going to happen. Again, I'll reiterate it one more time. So this wasn't on Tua. So to say, oh, we need to trade for Deshaun Watson, it ain't going to change what happened. It ain't going to change the dumb play calls. It ain't going to change your defense not stopping anything. It ain't going to change the poor tackling, the poor coach's decision, challenging back-to-back plays. Why? I don't know what happened. Coming into the season, we were all very optimistic, I guess you can say. I don't know. But something needs to change because you just lost to the Jaguars. You're now 1-5. Fun fact, a lot of people keep saying, oh, just keep tanking. We don't own our first round pick. Because we were so cocky in thinking that we were going to be better than we are, that we said, oh, Eagles, you could take our first because we're going to be good. You're going to get a late first, maybe teenish pick. 49ers, on the other hand, we'll be ahead of you. The way things are going, we might win 5 games this year. I hate doing this. I hate sounding like this. I hate making these videos. But you lose 5 games in a row, and you lose to the Jacksonville Jaguars, who haven't won a game since September of 2020. These videos have to be made. I doubt the Dolphins are going to watch this, but something needs to be changed. But I love you guys, regardless of the record. Hey, man, I was on 2019. I made videos every week. You're still going to get your normal videos. Tomorrow, I'm going to do a deeper dive. I'm going to have Steven on from Miami Sports Music. We'll talk more about this. Me and him will get into a nice little discussion. Then on Tuesday, Big O show. We got a lot to talk about. Then film breakdown on Wednesday, picks on Thursday, preview on Friday. Love you guys. Thank you guys so much for the support. This team is breaking all of our hearts, but I'm still here. Like usual, guys, stay classy. Have fun top.